This is me finishing my first ever half marathon. Let me show you how I got here. Every year, 2 million people worldwide run a half marathon. So when I would tell people that I've never finished one, they would often meet me with confusion and ask,
"You've been training for 10 plus years. How have you not done a half marathon yet?"
And the truth is, I tried 3 times. And in every single instance, I would get injured before making it to the start line. I knew how to train for a 10K, and I could easily digest 5K training. But the high mileage of a half marathon training load just seemed to be too much for me. Every time I would start a training block, I would end up falling apart 8 or 9 weeks in. But this year was different. I stringed together 16 weeks of really solid training and walked up to that TCS Toronto Half-Marathon start line optimistic, injury-free, and wearing the most expensive running shoes in the world. And now that we're 48 hours past the fact, I present to you my first half marathon. The build-up, the race, and the recap. The good, the bad, the ugly. Let's go! So we begin on Thursday, October 17th, 3 days before the race, for my last workout of the build, which is a 10-minute threshold run followed by 8 times 1 minute hard, 1 minute easy. Let's go. So threshold running is the pace you can keep for an hour. And in my case, that's about half marathon pace. And if I want to run a 66-minute half marathon, that pace is about 3:08 per kilometer. But still I run the first 10 minutes at 3:05 per kilometer, despite running directly into relentless 50-kilometer-an-hour winds, and then turn around to run the hard minutes at roughly the same pace. It felt not great.
You can barely breathe. I guess got to be ready for every situation. So this is like, I don't know, big gusts. It would suck to run a half marathon in this, but also probably will be parts of the race that are windy, so valuable somehow.
Now, something I faced throughout the season as a first-time half marathoner is that I would do my workouts a bit too quickly. I was used to the 5K and the 10K, where your workouts and your races start hurting right when you begin, and struggled to begin my workouts at a laid-back pace, kind of like you're supposed to do with the half marathon. This workout was no exception. I went home after the workout and got scared that I was going to do the exact same thing on race day, 3 days later, go out way too hard and then flame out halfway through. I told myself, come Sunday, if things feel easy, don't panic. Chill out until things get hard. So I held that thought, tried to chill out, went to sleep reassuring myself that the hay was in the barn, and got ready for Friday, Expo Day. So I happen to live next door from the Toronto Marathon Race Expo, and one of my favorite things to do every year is to walk around that place and pretend like I know absolutely nothing about running, so that vendors can tell me how exactly their candy and gnocchi will make me fast. I also checked out what kind of kicks were for sale. I was on the hunt for the Adidas Adios Pro Evos, the $500 super light sneakers that are as fast as they're rare, thinking, if I see a pair, I might just buy them. But no cigar. On to Saturday. Now, one of my favorite things to do on race weekends is to get into the habit of running at the time when the race begins. So Sunday's race was slated for 8 a.m. So I made sure to plan my shakeout run for 8 a.m. on Saturday and also dragged a bunch of my friends with me. Name? Jean-Marc Doiron.
We're not doing videos.
Name? Name? What's the goal?
I'll be juggling the marathon, trying to break the world record, 2 hours, 50 minutes, and 12 seconds.
12:30. To beat Alex.
Let's go, this is a shakeout. Better get new.
Okay, shakeout run is done. 16 weeks in the making. Nerves are in full flight. Porta potties everywhere. Guess my time. Okay, we're 18 hours pre-race and I'm hiding out in my condo because the city is full of runners and I'm trying to just not think about running for a couple hours. I am, however, facing some analysis paralysis. around shoes. So all year I'd been wearing the ASICS Magicspeed Sky Paris, and I love them for 5Ks and 10Ks. For the half marathon, I had decided to go up in bulk and wear the Alphafly 2s, which I've raced in before, I've worked out in before, really love them. But now I've received word that the Adidas Pro Evo 1s are available in Toronto. So I'm gonna go to the store and I'm gonna see if they have a size 11 available, and if they do, I'm about to make a really tough decision. So here we go.
Okay, we're here. The music is loud. The treadmills are ready, and we're out. We're out of the Evo 1s. There's a size 11 and a half and a size 12.
They're size 11.5, so half a size too big for me. But still, I have to test them out. So I put them on and I hop on the treadmill, and man, they feel good. I feel like I could run a 4-minute mile in jeans and a button-up right now. But do I buy them? I mean, they cost $500. In Canada, that's $650. With tax, that's $724. And also, when did I start thinking it was a good idea to buy a pair of shoes that I haven't properly tried even once before race day? That's a horrible plan, right? After walking around the Adidas store in deep internal conflict for 20 minutes, my consumerism side won, and I bought the shoes. So, you're welcome, Adidas. And yes, buying a single pair of running shoes for $724 is ludicrous, but it lit a type of fire under me. As soon as I swiped my credit card, I went back home with a no excuses mentality. I told myself, tomorrow you'll have a perfect weather forecast, a group of men running at your perfect pace that you can chase, no aches, no pains, no injuries, the best shoes in the world, and, well, this poster. So if I was to run 66 minutes, there was no better time to do it than tomorrow. On to Sunday. Remember my friend Jean-Marc, the joggler? Well, his record attempt earned him a spot at the VIP preparation tent for all Guinness World Record attempters. And also that gave him a +1, which he gave to me. And I quickly realized that the vibe inside of that world record breaking tent was a whole lot different from what I'm used to in the elite preparation rooms. There I was, nervously tossing my shoes on next to a woman dressed as a chef, one running in a sari, and a man in an elf suit who moved too quickly for me to get footage of him. So I tossed on the Evos, took one last gulp of water, and nervously shuffled to the start line.
Yes, Alex, let's go.
My immediate reaction post-race was, man, I did it. I got it. 65:58, 2 seconds faster than my goal. Thanks to a sprint at the end, maybe a bit thanks to the shoes, maybe a bit thanks to the weather. I thought immediately, and maybe because he was one of the first people I saw after the race, was to thank my coach, John LaFranco, for keeping me healthy for 16 weeks, and also for giving me a crucial piece of advice. He told me,
things should feel easy at 10K.
So I think that's the first real takeaway for me, is I had to learn to manage my expectations for how much this race would hurt, and to not worry that I wasn't trying hard enough if things didn't start hurting at 5 or even 10K. That was a big eye-opener, because in reality I crossed the 10K mark and even the 15K mark this time not feeling that strained. I actually felt quite comfortable. Things started getting hard for me at around 19 kilometers. So first takeaway, if you're doing your first half marathon and you have some 5 and 10K experience, learn to hurt a little bit less. Don't go out too hard. Now my second takeaway is that fueling is an art in itself. So for the half marathon, some people take gels and food with them and some don't. I chose not to, and I was fine with that, but I need to learn how to take cups as I'm running. I was 0 for 4 on the cups. And takeaway number 3, yeah, the Evos were awesome. I'm gonna leave it at that because we'll have a singular review of the Evos coming out soon on this channel, but they were flying. Very light, very bouncy, very powerful. Worth the $724? Eh. So that was my first half marathon experience, and I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with the result. My body feels fine, I'm happy with the time, and I think I learned a whole lot. I'm kind of hungry for the next one too, so we'll document that eventually. But meanwhile, I want to hear about your half marathon experience. Let me know in the comments and maybe we can talk training together. Otherwise, keep an eye out on our review for the Pro Evo 1. And hey, if you're still watching and you haven't subscribed yet, feel free to do so. Happy running, and until next time.